direction. I am not going to save the world. You are all going to save the world. Let me start by saying my name is Freeman Michaels. I was born Michael Robert Freeman, graduated from UC Davis in 1996 with a degree in agricultural economics. Changed my name to Freeman Michaels, got a job in the tech industry for 2 decades, had a few long-term relationships, got a little too obsessed with dodgeball, but who didn't? I'm now happily single and semi-retired. And in my retirement, I asked, now what? Like a bigger picture, now what? What's next in my life? I literally received everything I have ever wanted in life. I don't think many people can say that. So I felt like my next project should be in service to humanity. My goal is the complete and total freedom of every human being on the planet. And as one small step towards that goal, I find myself here and now with you, running for Congress on the platform of uniting the left and the right around the creation of a new cooperative economy that is recession-proof, corruption-proof, and greed-proof. And one of the major benefits, the initial benefits of a cooperative economy is if you wanted to, say, pay a certain segment of the population less than another segment for the same work. Good luck getting away with it, because in a cooperative economy, all finances are public. And if you come up with some great invention, instead of patenting it, can't say that word, you share it freely. Let me give you an example of how that works. Let's say you have a conservative Carl neighbor. Who's here conservative, by the way? No conservative. Who's progressive? Okay. So let's say you have your conservative neighbor, conservative Carl. And what conservatives like is they like independence. They like structure. They like stability. So of course a conservative would want clean, fresh food, independent. And of course on the far left, you have, let's say, Hippie Harry. And what does Hippie Harry want? Well, he wants organic food, he wants it free range, maybe blessed by unicorns or something like that. Those are my people, by the way, I'm progressive. So let's say conservative Carl and Hippie Harry team up. And they start growing food through hydroponics. They look some stuff up on YouTube. And they start growing food for their local community, maybe even just their cul-de-sac or their neighborhood. And they publish their findings on the internet. This is how we did it. We now have small crops sustainable in our community. Someone in Arizona says, that's a good idea. But you clowns in Southern California, where I'm from, you guys don't know how to save water. In Arizona, we know how to save water. So they take exactly what they did. They replicate it, except they tooled a little bit. And now all of a sudden, they've got the same yield, but with less water. Now, my friends in Silicon Valley, we get all butthurt because we think we're smart. So we're like, well, saving water is great. But unless you automate it, it's not worth anything. So people in Silicon Valley take what someone did, saving water, and now they figure out how to automate most of it, and they share what they've done. And what started as a small project with conservative Carl and Hippie Harry now ends up, if implemented nationwide, entire communities will be independent of their food supply from Monsanto, the FDA, oil, and just like that, you do not need capitalism or government for your food. That only happens in a couple years. Now rinse and repeat for the same concept with health. The next thing you know, within just a couple years, your dependence on the drug industry and the health insurance industry drop way off as your dependence on your local community and your cities and your neighbors increases. Capitalism will be here for your dependence, cooperative economy there, and over time, you slowly shift your lenience on the cooperative economy. Rinse and repeat for news. And then not too long, all of a sudden, you get information completely independent of ABC, CBS, MSNBC, Fox, NPR, BBC for your news. News no longer becomes, hey, here's your 30 minutes of news, because some days, there may only be 2 minutes of news. Why should I spend my time watching ads and whatnot when there's only 2 minutes of news? In a cooperative economy, the incentive is to provide the service, not to chase infinite growth on a finite planet. That's capitalism. if you would like to know more, visit my website at humanitymrises.info. From my heart to yours. In fact, a longer presentation, if you guys have any questions, I'm here. It's a lot to take in. It's more like a 30 or 40 minute thing with slides. Yes?
What district are you running in?
52 in San Diego.
Okay.
Self-funded. Money pretty much covers everything.
Would you repeat your website?
humanitymrises.info.
Are you aware of the litigation that's going on in San Diego regarding the election of the primary and the general, and then not verifying the elections? There's a whole big controversy that's really affecting all of California.
Yes, what I found, so Michael Vu is the guy that voter registrars, and he had got removed from other voter registrars for bad behavior, and they found that Bernie actually won San Diego, not Hillary, and that was in a court, and the penalty was nothing. They said, yes, we're guilty.
How does that, let's say you're a candidate.
Yes.
And you're voting on a system.
Yes.
That you know.
Yes.
That what they've done. I mean,
yes.
I say thank you for standing up.
Sure.
And I'm very impressed that you knew that.
Thank you.
So if I was in San Diego, you got my vote.
I appreciate it.
Because you appreciate that elections must be transparent,
yes.
trackable, and publicly
Absolutely.
verified.
There's no
and I'm glad I got you on film.
Yeah, yeah, and honestly, I have no faith in most of our recent elections. Maybe in the last 20 years, I would say there's a high likelihood of fraud because we live in a capitalist society where there's capitalism and there's the greed that is generated from infinite growth on a finite planet. And there's absolutely no way any government or any large central top-down institution can withstand that greed. It's like holding water in your hand. Yeah, you can keep it there for a little bit, and the Constitution's great, but over time, eventually, some water is going to leak out. Eventually, greed is going to invade government, and over time, government is not going to be on your side, and I would say we are absolutely at that point. Right now, we have people in high school today. This is sick. People in high school today have never known America not to be at war. So if you accept that war is just a reality in your world, then you're not going to try and fix it. Just like right now, no one's trying to fix the homeless problem. There's a ridiculous number of homeless people who live right outside my apartment. I feel so bad. Trump said the stock market is great, and then I said, well, these guys don't care. And this is not an anti-Trump thing. I am not anti-Trump or pro-Trump. But when people expect that this is just the norm, it's just normal that we're going to have homeless because that's what it is. It's just normal that we have war. You're going to start to just say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. And as someone who's not going to have kids, I don't have kids, my friends live in my district, my family lives in my district, my parents live in the district, I'm just not okay with nuclear weapons being pointed at me and pointed at them. And I think it's time that we accept that reality.
Good job. Good job.
Anyone else? Awesome. Thank you, guys.